All right, so take a look around your house and your office and consider just how much money you pump into all your favorite electronics. Your computer, your smartphone, boy, can they act up and add up, and that's where Computer Medics comes in. All you need is time to drop off your device and let Robert Johnson and his team work their magic.
For our customers, we offer 3 distinct businesses. We have the in-home client, where we actually will dispatch to their house, work in their environment where they're familiar with and they understand how they use their equipment. For small and medium businesses, we go all around the city. I mean, more than just the city, we'll go regionally. And then we also offer that third leg, which is bringing it to our store. We also provide a quick turnaround. We try to turn it around within 24 to 48 hours. We try to make sure that we understand from their point of view, not the tech geeky point of view, you know how that works, but from their point of view, what is it that they're seeing in their speak. Sometimes we'll actually have them power up the PC, or we'll bring it back to a bench and maybe bring the client in and power it up, and that way they can show us live, because sometimes they may say one thing and we may be thinking another, and it'll be the light bulb goes off and we can say, oh, okay, now I get it.
We were here and we saw one of your walk-in customers bring in it looked like a Mac.
A MacBook.
What happened with her during her service?
I think she was looking for some help setting up her iMail or email so she could check mail on her MacBook. Just like with mobile phones, just like with standard PCs, everybody wants to be connected to the world. Email is the way to do that.
She comes back here, she brings her Mac, and then she's walked through the process. Do you find that customers have that aha moment where they say, I didn't know that, or that's how you do that?
We see that happen when they're just wanting to set something up, or they're needing a little bit of help just to, how do I do this? And that's where we normally will get the aha moment. When we've got the guts apart and we've got boards out and things like that, normally people are like, I don't even want to watch that. Just make it work again.
What do you find is the most common problem that your walk-ins tend to bring in, vice those who ask you to come to their home?
Viruses. Absolutely. Probably 75 to 80% of what we're working on is from the internet. It's a scary world. We've talked about this before. Mm-hmm. The internet is a phenomenal research tool, but the second half of that is there's a lot of ugly things.
So back to our customer. Mm-hmm. She came back here, she learned a couple things, mm-hmm. and was able to walk out with her device, mm-hmm. same day.
Yes, absolutely.
So once a customer decides to bring in their favorite gadget that's been on the fritz for a little bit, or just isn't performing at lightning fast speed, really, Robert says that you need to remember a certain amount of tips to ensure that you get the most out of your customer experience at Computer Medics. And I love this because, again, that's where the aha moment comes from, the power cord.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why is that so important when the customers come in?
I think it's grab the PC, need to get it fixed, take it into the office or the shop. All of a sudden we'll look at them and say, okay, great, we're ready to work on it. Do you have your power cord? And it's kind of like that white sheet goes over, oh.
Because they just kind of assume that you're going to have all the devices and the equipment that they need to support their device.
Right. I think a lot of people assume that one power cord fits all. The manufacturers, it's all about money. Different ports, different everything. So we'll kind of look at them gently and say, we'll be able to start this for a little bit, but
very gently.
We're going to need a power cord.
So a power cord like this that you brought, that we all know what it looks like, but it's important that it fits, again, the device that you need to be fixed.
Exactly.
Okay, so you have the option to either drop off your computer or, your iPhone, or you can stay with it.
You can. You're putting me on the spot.
No, it's your next tip.
I think that for the most part, we're kind of hoping that people will draw it off. It takes a little time for us to sometimes get into the guts of it, sometimes pull it apart like we talked about in the shop. Sometimes it just takes time for things to run. So our preference is probably to drop it off, leave it with us. We have pretty much a 24 to 40 hour turnaround.
And that's allowed to happen so much faster if you don't have somebody kind of right there.
True. There are some times when we're just doing some simple training or something easy that we don't mind somebody sticking around, but for the most part, we prefer it be dropped off.
The convenience is huge because you can go on about your day, run your errands, come back, and voila, there you have an electronic that is working.
That's the goal and that's the hope, absolutely.
You mentioned that viruses are a huge problem, one of the bigger problems that you have to address. Why so?
kind of goes back to that internet. You know, it really doesn't matter what operating system, and I think this is a kind of a misnomer. Everybody thinks that the Apple operating system is perfect or that the Google Android is perfect, and they're not. They're just not exploited yet. I mean, there are people out there hacking away every day. So
man.
it's coming into the mobile phone world, it's coming into the tablets, it's coming into the smartphone, whatever, it doesn't matter. So, you know, a great research tool, but you got to be safe on there.
Yeah, I mean, we see it every day in our homes and our offices.
Sure.
But you don't, there's so much power there, good and bad.
It is, especially with high-speed internet.
Why high speed?
What you get into comes down quicker. And sometimes, you know, with viruses, it's just one simple slip, half a second, you hover too long or you clicked, and it's too late.
And they play with your emotions, let's be honest.
Yeah, they do.
You see something flashing, and you think you're hitting the close button, and they got you.
It's too late.
Man.
Happens just like that.
So when your customers come in, they obviously need to bring the device, they need to bring the power cord, and they need to let you know their computer password.
Yeah, that's another one. You know, sometimes when somebody brings it in, again, there's a little bit of, you know, they want to tell their story, we want to hear their story, ask a few questions. Sometimes the experience goes pretty quick. Next thing you know, they left, we've got it on the bench, we've got it powered up, and it's sitting there with that little password, and we're like, oh yeah, you better call them. And so just trying to get a hold of somebody and get their password. You know, sometimes we can reset it, but sometimes we can't.
But it's important to know that you just want the password to get into the computer, not into their personal belongings.
Exactly. Good point.
Because some of your customers may be concerned that, hey, this is, you know, my family history
Exactly.
or intimate pictures of my wife having a baby.
Right.
You know, you're not interested in that.
No, not at all.
You're interested in helping them out.
Except if you brought yours in, we'd want to know who you're tweeting.
It's all out there. Matter of fact, I'm going to tweet you the picture that we took. If you would like to talk tech with Robert and his phenomenal team at Computer Medics, all you need to do is call them at 913-219-1895 or go online to cmokc.com. And you can also follow Computer Medics on Twitter. They'll tweet you back and find them on Facebook. Robert, thank you.
No problem.